After 6 relentless weeks in the gym, I craved something more than wraps and routines. I needed to feel dirt under my boots again, to breathe the sweet scent of pine, to sleep in my cozy hyperlight tent again. And most of all, I needed to stand in the shadow of the Sierra Nevada mountains, to remember why I'm training in the first place. One question lingered on my mind. Has the training already paid off? Am I stronger now? Strong enough to reach a mountain pass above 12,000 feet? I chose Mono Pass Trail. Not too easy, not too hard. The views are stunning and the elevation gain would test me without pushing too far beyond the limits of my current training. Something I've learned to respect thanks to my book Training for the New Alpinism. With my gear dialed in and the car loaded for a quick overnight stay at the trailhead, I left Los Angeles behind. 6.5 hours of traffic and desert later, I was at the edge of the wilderness, beyond ready to trade pavement for alpine trails. I'm ready for our next adventure here in the Sierra Nevada mountains. I drove up last night and slept in the car again at around 10,000 feet. So I should be pretty used to the altitude already. Before I went to sleep, I installed mosquito screens. I don't know if you can see them, because these are the mosquito flats, and supposedly they are pretty bad. I heard people talk outside. So I have a sunscreen on the other side here, and I just have to get everything packed up and ready to go. So this trip isn't just a quick escape. It's a preview, a glimpse of what's to come later this year when I return to these mountains to attempt something I've never done before, summiting one of California's iconic 14ers. If you've watched my previous videos, you know endurance doesn't come natural to me, but I've been putting in the work, slowly building a foundation to climb higher. Still, I wasn't thinking about that today, because as soon as I stepped onto the trail and followed Rock Creek through a sea of wildflowers, my goals faded into the background. I was here, surrounded by birds, a light breeze, and granite. We are on our path and it's already so gorgeous. I can't wait to see the mountains back there, but in the meantime we have so many wildflowers here in the meadow along this creek, and it looks just gorgeous. It's still pretty flat. I'm watching my speed so I don't get out of breath too much. Try to stick to my rules from the training, but my heart rate is already going way past my zone 1 and 2, so I think that just can't be helped, but I'll be as good as I can be. I just passed the intersection of the two hiking paths and now it's finally quiet. I can't believe how many people came up here. Herds of people with fishing rods, whole families. But they're all going to the other location that is always super busy. So I'm very grateful that I'm completely alone here now and have an absolutely amazing view all the way around. There's more people on the path and everybody is going the other way. I'm so happy. But yeah, it's just unbelievably beautiful over here. I can never get tired of the Sierra Nevada, I don't think. There are just endless places to discover here. And looking down Little Lakes Valley, the chain of alpine lakes sparkling under the morning sun, I can't help but think about the history of the Sierra. It's humbling to think about how this landscape was shaped. Over the last 2 million years, glaciers caved these valleys into the U-shapes we see now. As they receded, they left behind massive rock piles, moraines, that formed natural dams, creating these lakes that now shimmer in the high country. I'm just making my way up the trail and it's one switchback after the other, just climbing higher and higher over here. But it's super gorgeous. We have the valley where we came from on this side here. And then we have the gorgeous mountains on this side. So no matter which way I walk, which side of the switchback I guess, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I feel good. I have no problems with the altitude. My legs feel strong. My heart goes up pretty fast, but it also comes down again really fast. And I take a break, so I don't feel quite as bad as I did a few weeks ago when I went to the San Bernardino Mountains, and that was before my training, before the start of my training. So I think little bit by little bit it's getting better. It's so easy to get caught up in the numbers, watching the miles tick by, checking heart rate, counting down the distance to camp. Maybe it's just a habit, weeks of tracking every workout, every gain, every setback. But out here, these numbers don't matter. This is supposed to be my time to disconnect, to let the trail set the pace. Every bend should be a small discovery. Wildflowers tucked into the shade, a stream catching the light just right. The quiet kind of beauty that training logs can't measure. I spent weeks preparing for this trip, hours behind the wheel just to get here. Now it's time to let go of all that, to stop measuring and just walk. Let's soak in this landscape together. Well, my friends, I think we found our first camp spot for the night. It's just off of the lake. It doesn't have direct access. I have to go around the corner a bit to get to the lake for water. But it's gorgeous. There are a couple more camp spots that are occupied that are lower than me. So I'm kind of on the highest point here, which is nice. There's something deeply satisfying about setting up your tent, especially on the first night of a trip. It's more than just a shelter. It becomes your little slice of home in the backcountry, a place to crawl into when the wind picks up or rain starts to fall, and to peek out from in the morning, knowing that beauty and adventure are waiting just outside the door. It's cozy, familiar, and for me, it always brings a smile. This is one of the most important guylines, and today it just didn't want to cooperate. I tried one spot, then another, then two more. 4 tries in total, and nothing worked. The rocky ground refused to let the stakes sit right. Speaking of guylines, remember the last trip when my old ones loosened so much during a storm that the whole tent started rattling? After that, I knew I had to upgrade. So this trip, I'm testing out a new set. They came with a tensioner system that is super easy to adjust, and they actually stay put. So far, I'm really liking them, and for the first time, I don't stumble over the guylines anymore because they are so bright. The real test will be when I'm camped out in a strong wind again. I've loved camping ever since I was a kid. There's just something about sleeping outside that always felt magical. And with each passing year, as I return to wild places like the Sierra, that love only deepens. I actually wrote a blog post about this not long ago, about where this love for tents and tiny camps came from. If you're curious, I'll link it below. You might even spot a photo of me in a little tent when I was 4 years old, already dreaming of big mountains. This is my brand new quilt. I finally get to use it. Thanks to some generous donations from my Buy Me a Coffee friends. This is so much lighter than my sleeping bag. It's the lightest thing you can find probably from Western mountaineering. And it doesn't have a hood, it just has a collar that you can close. You can close, you can tighten it, and you have these things down here to kind of keep everything in place. But I'll make a separate video about this quilt sometime soon after I tested it a couple of times, because I think people will love this. It is so tiny and light and goes down to 38 degrees. I went all the way to the top of the little hill to catch the last little bit of the sun for my dinner, but it may not even last this long. Everybody in the valley is already in shadows. It's gorgeous here. There's the tent. And my chair is waiting for me. It's just absolutely amazing. I cleaned my teeth and now it's just time to wash my face a little bit. And I have a brand new towel that I haven't tried yet. It's a super tiny one that supposedly unfolds when you make it wet. I have two of them, one for my stove and one for my face. So let's try this out and see how this thing actually works. Right now it's just a solid little thing. I'll put the link in the description. And I'll let you know how this goes. This is so cool. There's something on here. What is this? Light load. The more I change my gear to lighter stuff, the more I notice how much easier it is to carry my pack. It was really noticeable today. It was so much lighter than 2 years ago when I had my big Deuter backpack for 3 days, and it was ridiculously big and heavy, and I knew something had to happen. And so over the last couple of years, and with the help of many of you who have been donating money on my Buy Me a Coffee account, I've been able to lighten my load quite a bit. And it's just so much better to backpack this way. It makes such a huge difference. So if you are still working on your gear to lighten it, keep pushing. It's so worth it. This feels so good. Get all the sunscreen and the mosquito spray off. Good. And it's pretty big. It's pretty good. I found another really cool camp spot that I didn't know about earlier. I went all the way up the hill to look for a spot for my bear bag. And you just have a great view from up here. We were talking about sponsors earlier when I was showing you the towel. And so I want to give a special shout out to one of you, to Ruby, whose birthday was just a couple of weeks ago. Stay strong. I know your health is a little bit troublesome right now. But I'm thinking about you, and I'm sending you all of my love and all of my happiness, and hopefully that helps you get through this time. And I just want to thank you for all your support, for the money you've sent to me to be able to buy the gear. And yeah, it means the world to me. And I hope to hear from you again. And yeah, take care. And everyone else as well, everyone who's been watching my videos and sponsoring me to get the gear. So I couldn't do it without you guys, and I hope some more of you will join so I can continue my mission to summit a mountain later this year. Good morning, my friends. I woke up because it's getting too warm. The sun is hitting the tent, and I had to shed a couple of layers already, take off my hat. I think it's time to get out of the tent. But I slept really well. I think the sleeping bag would have been a slightly better choice because it was a little chilly, but I put on a bunch of layers and I put on 2 hoods and a hat, and then I was good. I have to make a choice what I want to do today. I have 2 choices. I can keep my tent where it is. It's a really good and out of the way spot right now. And this place is getting pretty busy. People kept coming in, even in the evening, trying to find a place to sleep. And I can just do a day hike up to the pass and then come back down and sleep here. Or I can pack everything up and try to sleep up at the summit lake, which I really wanted to do, but the only problem is that there is no shade at all and it's really hot during the day. I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna get up, get some breakfast going, and think about it some more. In the next episode, I'll decide whether to pack up and move camp or simply hike to Mono Pass for the day. Either way, the altitude will test me and give me a better sense of where my training has brought me so far. If you're curious why I started this journey in the first place, I've linked the playlist in the description. Thanks for coming along, my friends. I'll see you in part 2 of this adventure.